Coming up on the British TV Watchlist.
She plays exhaustion, fury, and grief all at once, often in the same scene. Riveting.
From cozy mysteries to intense police procedurals, we talk about the characters, performances, series, and episodes from your favourite British TV shows.
Hey, welcome back to the British TV Watchlist. Last episode, we started counting down the 50 best detectives from British and Commonwealth television. So quick reminder of how this all works. There's 12 criteria grouped into 4 families. Cultural standing at 30%, reach and endurance at 25%, audience footprint, another 25% there, craft at 20%. Every detective gets scored 0 to 100 across all 12 categories, and those scores combine into one final number. You can check out the previous episode on a little bit more detail. Last time we covered 50 through 31. Today we move into numbers 30 through 11. Now this stretch gets a lot harder to argue with, or maybe easier to argue with. Either way, let's get into it. At number 30, Chief Inspector Reg Wexford from the Ruth Rendell Mysteries. A humane, bookish detective solving crime in a small Sussex market town. He's less interested in dramatic confrontations than in understanding why people do what they do. And the show earned a reputation for treating its suspects like real people instead of plot devices. At number 29, Brother Cadfael from Cadfael, the show. A 12th century Benedictine monk and former crusader solving murder inside a medieval abbey. He brings battlefield experience and genuine faith to every investigation, which makes him unlike almost anyone else on the list. At number 28, Jonathan Creek from the show. Jonathan Creek, a magician's trick designer who cracks impossible crimes because he knows exactly how illusions work. Locked rooms and vanishing bodies don't fool someone who builds stage magic for a living. Now, at number 27, Cormoran Strike from CB Strike. Robert Galbraith is the author of the books, but it's a pen name for J.K. Rowling. She published The Cuckoo's Calling in 2013 under that name, specifically to avoid the scrutiny that comes with who and what she is. That lasted about 3 months before journalists worked it out. Strike himself is a war veteran turned private investigator, missing part of one leg after Afghanistan, running a struggling agency out of a cramped London office. His partner is Robin Ellicott, who starts out as a temp and becomes essential to the business. The show and the novels behind it have built one of the great slow burns in modern detective fiction. Book after book and season after season, that tension between Strike and Robin refuses to resolve cleanly. It's a huge part of why people keep coming back, novel after novel. Plus, the stories are clever, as you would expect from J.K. Rowling. Number 26, DSI Stella Gibson from the show The Fall. Gillian Anderson plays a metropolitan officer sent to Belfast to run a stalled serial killer investigation. This is one of the tensest shows on the whole list. The killer's identity isn't a mystery. We know who he is almost from the start. The tension comes from watching Gibson close in methodically while he keeps operating in plain sight. It's a cat and mouse. The tension is as taut as a violin string. At 25, DCS Christopher Foyle from Foyle's War. It's actor Michael Kitchen in one of the most understated performances in British television. Foyle barely raises his voice. He doesn't need to. A single look does more work than most actors manage with a full page of dialogue. He's a no-nonsense Hastings detective solving wartime crime while the country keeps insisting nothing matters but the war effort. Foyle disagrees, quietly and completely, every single episode. Hey, we'll get back to our countdown of the top 50 British Commonwealth detectives of all time. Just a pause for a moment here. I've never been a hat guy until recently. And I'm looking at the hats at Pins and Aces. Their logo hat is actually pretty cool. It's an ace of spades and a pin and a flag. Pins and aces. It is really cool. Lots of different styles and colors for men and women. And one of their coolest items, if you like to indulge on the course with adult beverages, check out the beer sleeve or the liquor sticks. You can imbibe on the back nine, skip the 19th hole altogether. You can find it at pinsandaces.com. And if you use our promo code, you can get an extra discount of up to 30%. It's the best deal available at Pins and Aces. And you can help support our podcast at the same time. We get a small commission. Here's our promo code, BTVW1. BTVW1 at pinsandaces.com. Number 24. Dr. Edward Fitzgerald from Cracker, a gambling, drinking, criminal psychologist who reads killers better than he manages his own life. He gets inside a suspect's head faster than the police around him, and it costs him something every time. At number 23, DCI Gene Hunt from Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes, a brutal, quotable 1970s governor who became shorthand for old school policing. Politically incorrect and proud of it. He's the character people still quote whether they approve of him or not. Number 22, D.I. Alec Hardy and D.S. Ellie Miller from Broadchurch. We're going to lump these two together. Two mismatched detectives investigating a child's death that tears a small Dorset town apart. Hardy is guarded and unwell. Miller is local and furious, and that friction drives the whole first season. Now, at number 21, D.I. Jimmy Perez from Shetland. Douglas Henshaw played him for 7 seasons. What makes Perez work is how likable he is. He knows everyone on those islands, their names, their histories, their secrets, and that familiarity is what lets him ask questions other detectives couldn't get away with. But don't be fooled. Perez will sit with you, listen to you, treat you like a neighbor right up until the moment the evidence points right at you. Then he arrests you without hesitation. That balance, warmth on one side and resolve on the other, is exactly why the character carried the show for as long as he did. At number 20, Superintendent Ted Hastings and AC-12 from Line of Duty. Anti-corruption officers hunting bent police inside their own force. Hastings' catchphrases became national shorthand, and the show turned police procedure itself into the source of tension. At number 19, the Honorable Phryne Fisher from Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, a glamorous 1920s Melbourne socialite turned private investigator. She flies planes, carries a pistol in her handbag, and solves crimes polite society would rather ignore. Number 18, D.I. Jack Frost from A Touch of Frost, a scruffy, insubordinate Denton detective whose compassion outruns his paperwork. He's a nightmare for his superiors and a lifeline for victims nobody else takes seriously. That's exactly why audiences forgave him for the paperwork he never filed. At 17, DCI Jim Taggart from Taggart, a dour Glasgow detective fronting Britain's longest-running police drama. The show outlived the actor who originated the role, and it kept the character's name in the title regardless. Number 16, Commander Adam Dalgleish from Dalgleish, a poet and Scotland Yard commander bringing literary restraint to closed community murders. He solves crimes the way he writes verse, carefully and without wasted motion. That makes him one of the coolest, most controlled detectives on this whole list. Very similar to Christopher Foyle in Foyle's War. At number 15, D.I. John Rebus from Rebus, an insubordinate Edinburgh detective working the city's underside. He drinks too much, breaks too many rules, and still closes cases his by-the-book colleagues can't. Now, number 14, DCI Vera Stanhope from Vera. Brenda Blethyn played her for 14 seasons. Vera is about as hard-nosed as a detective gets. Rumpled coat, no patience for nonsense, sharper than every suspect who underestimates her. And yet her two signature words are pet and love. She'll use these terms of endearment on witnesses, suspects, even members of her own team. It made this tough, downright rude character just that much softer. Hey, we're going to get back to our top 50 countdown in a moment. First, let me tell you about the good folks at CozyEarth.com. I'm looking right now at some of their best sellers. Bathrobes are up there on the list. Comfortable, and you think about it, they're subtly sexy, right? You imagine you and your spouse in your own bathrobe. It's something to share as a couple. You can find it at CozyEarth.com. Get one for each of you. Use our promo code and you can get an extra discount of up to 30% when you check out. It's the best deal available. You help support our podcast, we get a small commission. It's a win-win. BTVW1. That's our promo code, BTVW1. Use that at CozyEarth.com. Number 13, Detective William Murdoch from Murdoch Mysteries, a Victorian-era Toronto detective applying forensic science decades before anyone else trusted it. Fingerprinting, ballistics, early forensic photography. He's using all of this while his colleagues still lean on hunches and guesswork. He's a modern investigator inside a horse and carriage world. At number 12, Sergeant Catherine Kaywood from Happy Valley. This is Sarah Lancashire in one of the most acclaimed performances on this entire list. Kaywood is a West Yorkshire uniformed sergeant. Her worst case becomes tangled with her own family. Lancashire won a BAFTA for this role. She plays exhaustion, fury, and grief all at once, often in the same scene. Riveting is the right word for it. And now, number 11, DCI John Luther from Luther. Idris Elba is Luther, half brilliant, half self-destructive, a detective who keeps crossing the line. He's brash, he bends rules, breaks a few outright, and gets results anyway. He's compelling to watch, and you get a little squirmy witnessing his tactics. And then there's his nemesis, Alice Morgan, played by Ruth Wilson. Alice is a killer Luther can't quite bring himself to arrest. The two of them build one of the strangest, most electric dynamics in British crime drama. It's the reason people still talk about this show years after the show aired. Okay, that's 30 through 11. Next week, the top 10 detectives of all time. And after that, you'll have the complete rank list of the 50 best detectives Commonwealth Television has ever produced, start to finish. And if you want the complete list of the top 100 British Commonwealth detectives, just email me and ask. Our email is info@michaeltmedia.com. And we'll send that list out after we reveal number 1. Once again, our email is info@michaeltmedia.com. Before we go, I want to say hello to our listeners in Dragoon, Arizona, USA, Lawrence, Kansas, and Auckland, New Zealand. Let me know in the comments where you are. We'd love to hear from you. And we would appreciate your support of this podcast. You can check out our Patreon site. You can also support us by shopping at CozyEarth.com and PinsAndAces.com. Those sites always have something going on. And if you use our promo code BTVW1, you can get as much as a 30% discount when you check out. Okay, that's it for now. Next time, we count down the top 10. Thanks for listening to the British TV Watchlist. Until then, cheers!
The British TV Watchlist is written and produced by Michael T. in Honolulu, Hawaii. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. All rights reserved. Copyright 2026. Michael T. Media.